Raghunath, are you ready for this?
What?
The wisdom of the sages trainings that are going on.
Where?
At the Eco Village, the Govardhan Eco Village in India.
Why?
To totally transform your life spiritually.
Who?
You, me, Radha Swami's going to be there. Other great teachers are going to be there. Lots of cool people.
How?
You go to wisdomofthesages.com/events. You find all the information there.
Haribo.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastubadas. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to Thursday's Giveaway Thursday, we call it.
So we call it. We always needed something for Thursday.
We needed something for Thursday.
Raising the bar now, you're going to have to keep it up.
Yeah, we're here. Yeah, we got to start giving things away every Thursday. We start hocking pieces of furniture around the house.
This is a role that you
Who
would
wants
love, Raghunath.
Raghunath's chair?
You could do the Oprah thing. You get something. You get something. That's kind of role that you're.
Come on down.
Yeah.
We're here with Jonavi Harrison, our favorite kirtan singer, and she's going to give away tickets for her performance
Indeed.
in New York City and other places. Welcome, Jonavi. How are you?
Thank you. I'm pretty good. I didn't sleep so much last night, but I'm feeling energized now being here with you all.
Oh, good. Well, we'll energize you. We had a big kirtan here last night, a program with Malati Devi.
Amazing.
The OG original legend, Malati. And she was great. Yes, I picked your brain for Beatles stories. You know, she really told like how she met the Swami, and it was just a great evening. One like masterpiece story after another. You know,
she's a living treasure.
She is. But I feel very puffy today. I don't know if you can tell. I rolled out of bed, if everybody wants to know, 15 minutes before the show. And I got that mooring face on. So if you don't watch this on YouTube or on Zoom today, go to Apple Podcasts.
You didn't get a chance to do your makeup?
No, Moses didn't do my makeup this morning. Thanks, Moses. Okay, so Jonavi, welcome. But we haven't. And Amara had to pick up her brother, so she slept in. So it's me and Kastuba fumbling over the controls today. And you got to, Kastuba, you just got to make sure you let more people in.
I'm on it. I'm letting them in as we talk.
Okay. All right. So how are we doing this? What are the announcements today? Did she leave me with any instructions? She usually does. It's just like when your mom's not there.
That's what I was thinking.
Your laundry's in the thing. Oh, yeah. There's a Bhakti recovery group meeting at noon. And there's a Bhakti recovery group retreat next week.
It's coming up.
I tell you, if you're really into digging into yourself and trying to find the layers, we were talking yesterday about the layers of costumes that we wear, especially if we've had any type of trauma in our life or felt some abandonment in our life. We cover that up, and it affects our day-to-day, and sometimes we have to dig deep into ourselves, and that's just what this recovery group is going to be, the retreat. If you're interested, you can go to our website, but it's the Bhakti Recovery Group 10-4 to 10-7, October 4th through the 7th, and that actually, I guess it's in a couple weeks, right? No,
it's like next week.
It's next week.
Yeah,
that's next week. And the Wisdom of the Sages retreat is back to back with that. You can come to both if you want. And that's 10-7 to 10-9. 10-7 to 10-9. We're excited for that. And that's pretty filled, actually, that retreat. There might be a space. If you're interested, just go on the website, wisdomofthesages.com. Get on our mailing list while you're there. And click on more information under I think it's Sage Academy or events. I'm not sure. Double check that.
I think it's under events.
Under events.
Maybe it's
Okay.
under both. I don't know. We got to figure that out.
I don't know. We really should know what we're saying when we get on this podcast. How are we going to do the show when I go to India? I'm going to India for 20 days.
Well, Mara will be here, so.
No, she's going to be in India.
Oh, well, we did last time you were both there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do it again.
All right. All right, Johnny, how do you want to work this? Do you actually have a hat we're going to pull these from?
I have one, but it's on my head and it's keeping it warm. So we're gonna have a virtual hat.
You're not used to this cold, are you?
I am. I'm from a cold place.
Is England doesn't even snow in England, does it?
No, it's not that cold. It snows a little bit. Yeah. But I've been
cold as
I've been
Jersey.
gone for a while. That's true.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much to everybody who entered, because we had a lot even up till yesterday, and it was really it was exciting and encouraging to see the names coming in and some sweet little messages as well. So we have a system that hopefully makes sense. I'm going to ask each of you to choose a number between 1 and something, because there's different amounts of people entered for each city, and then we're going to announce it live on air. So right now, yeah.
Right.
So
there is no hat.
There is no hat.
We know that you wanted the hat. We're gonna
He's pulling out of a hat.
Go
I'm
without
expecting
a hat.
big Easter parade.
All right. All right.
Well, the thing is, there's
Here's the
nothing
hat.
to put in the hat because there's emails.
The
You could
hat
pretend.
is a spreadsheet. It's a spreadsheet.
It's a spreadsheet. Oh.
What's going on with this?
You know what I
world?
was thinking? This concert is the great way. It's a great way to get a friend. You know, when you try to when you try to push your beliefs on other people, it's a great way. It's a great
Gently.
way to be like, hey, want to go to a concert? Yeah, sure. I got us some concert tickets. Next thing you know, wait a second, where are we?
This is some kind of Hare Krishna
Just a
thing.
concert. The concert of this artist I really like.
Actually, you could get away with it there, though. Like
You could. It's like a concert. I just heard this music. It's very popular. Willow Smith sings on the CD I have. Okay, all right. Okay, that sounds reasonable. Wait a second. Why is everybody saying Jai? What does that mean? I don't know. I just got here too.
All right, we're ready.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so Raghu, please choose a number. Well, to each of you, you can choose a number between 1 and 26. This is for New York.
Oh, because there's 2 people get tickets, two sets
Yeah,
of tickets. for
two
each
sets
city.
of tickets.
Okay,
Exactly.
I say definitively 24.
Oh,
24.
is there going to be any significance to these numbers?
Yes.
Okay, 24.
Well, you reveal the significance, or we just understand that it was significant.
Okay, so 24, we have 2 pairs of tickets for Jeffrey Ackler.
Jeffrey Ackler,
He's live on
Swamiji.
Zoom.
He's live on
He's
Zoom.
live on Zoom.
Where is
Jeffrey
he?
Ackler.
Yay.
Is this rigged?
No.
Okay, great. Jeffrey
You picked the
Ackler.
number.
Congratulations, Jeffrey. Everybody on the message board, give him a little congratulations.
Yay. Okay.
And I get to pick
This
a
would
number.
be- Yes,
What's the range again?
between 1 and 26, but not 24.
Okay. Oh, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Jeffrey Ackler wrote on the board earlier, before you even announced that, Like a River has been on heavy rotation in my office.
Oh,
I love
look
that
at
song.
that.
It brings me peace.
Okay, so we have 2 pairs of tickets for Jen Hunt.
Jen Hunt. She
Jen
here?
Hunt. I
She
love
here?
her. Jen Hunt. She's been to Nepal with me and India with me, and I think she's going to India
Yay.
again.
So those are
Jen
the New
Hunt.
York.
Congratulations,
the
Jen.
New
Those
York
are New York.
show.
Okay, so now we have Atlanta.
She
Choose a
lives in
number,
Jersey,
please.
actually.
Between 1 and 7 for Atlanta.
Okay.
1 and
smaller
7.
group. Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
5.
Okay. Kostubaji.
I'll pick 3.
Okay, 5 and 3. So 2 pairs of tickets for Hazim Smith.
Hazim, Haribo.
Hazim.
Hazim.
Hazim. And
Kylie, if you
Amar-
can't get these, if Kylie can't get these odds,
she's gonna be away. She's not gonna be there.
actually she's going to be in India with
Yeah. Amar Nimai Das.
Mara Nimai does.
Mara Nimai.
Okay,
It's like
Mara Nimai.
Mara. All right, Mara Nimai,
Yay.
Harry Ball.
Okay. Okay, so congratulations. Now for
Congratulations.
Chicago,
All right.
number between
Congratulations.
1 and 6.
1 and 6.
1 and 6, 4.
Okay.
I knew you were going to say 2.
Well,
I
there's
knew
only so
that.
many numbers.
Krista Ellis.
Crystal.
Krista Ellis.
Is that the mad scientist, Crystal?
Is it?
Krista.
Oh, Krista. Sorry, mad scientist.
And Diane Jackson.
Diane Jackson.
Diane Jackson, Harry Ball. All right.
Congratulations.
And Dallas, a number between 1 and 5. Not so many entries for Dallas.
Dallas between 1 and 5. 2. Definitely 2.
Okay.
I feel it.
What number are we going to pick, Rogo? Oh, no, actually, you shouldn't say because let's just say I'm picking 1.
Okay, Stephanie Sileli.
She's listening live.
Oh, that's
my God.
Yay! See you
There
there.
she is. There she is.
And Raghu Kostuba, you said 1, right?
1, yeah.
So that is, I'm waiting to see. Is John Branson.
John Branson.
All right.
Congratulations.
Okay.
This was fun. Let's do this again. Are we doing this
Yeah,
again?
you gotta do this
Every Thursday.
week. Okay, lastly we have
We're
LA.
giving away things every Thursday. I'm giving away my son. I've given away everything. Oh, yes, I offer my son. It's like Dropity.
Next Thursday, it'll be Raghunath's son.
Lastly, we have Los Angeles. Numbers between 1 and 8, please.
1 and
Your
8.
best numbers between 1 and 8.
4. Definitively 4.
Okay.
I will pick 8.
Okay. Let's see who it's going to be. Marinelle Mariano.
Marnell Mariana, Haribo.
Great name.
Yay. And last of all, Jordan Champagne.
Oh, Yamuna Jelly.
That's Yamuna Jelly. That's
Oh,
awesome.
Whoa.
Do you know Yamuna?
I do. I met her at your retreat.
All
Labor Day.
right. Oh, she's one of our favorites.
Who's
Yay,
the winner from
okay.
Who's the winner from Finland? Sachi brought
For
this
Finland.
up.
So we wanted to also announce that we are just really grateful to the Wisdom of the Sages community, not only for just being encouraging about this specifically, but just for existing and for showing up and doing this every day and for inspiring so many of us, others like me. So we wanted to offer a special discount to all of the listeners, even if you didn't win the contest.
Now, what if they did win? Do they still get it? Do they get money?
They get a free they get a free ticket. I don't know. It's pretty simple. So I'll type it in the chat. The discount code is crew 30. That's normally just for the crew, for the band.
Crew 30.
Look at that.
And that gives a 30% discount on the tickets. So if you enter that when you're selecting your seats, for New York and Atlanta, you have to press unlock for it to work. Raghu, you say that word on your intro, unlock.
Oh yes, that's right. Unlock. Good.
Yeah. And so then you'll get a discount. We really, really hope to see you all there. I'm getting excited.
Is that
about
all
it.
capitals?
getting
Crew
excited.
30. Crew 30.
Yeah, crew 30. Crew 30.
What's the date
All
in New York
capitals.
again?
New York is 21st of October.
All right.
And yeah, we'll finish in LA on the 3rd of November.
That is exciting. I should go to the LA one. Oh no, I won't be back.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna miss all of them.
Ah,
Well, you're just
Come
gonna have to
back
come
early.
to come to Super Soul and do another private event.
We'll have to do that.
yeah, you know I will.
That was really nice. Next
That
year
was
we're gonna have you
wonderful.
here.
It was really sweet. Really, really sweet.
All right. Well, you know what? This was fun. I really like giveaways. We're gonna do
Yeah.
that more. You've inspired us.
Okay, well, yeah, we
And-
could get like maybe Yamuna Jelly to give away a little something, different My Mom's Nuts, different things like that maybe.
Yeah, you have so many amazing creators in your community.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Baba Wellness.
Baba
Another favorite.
Wellness. Samadhi CBD oil. That's the new name for my mom's
My
nuts.
Mom's, yeah.
And yeah, you give away a old shelter record. I just like giving away things. It's
All right.
fun.
Maybe you should just give away your own artifacts. We're gonna.
Here's my gold tooth.
Now, Genevieve,
Wait a second. This isn't gold. Oh yeah, it's just my tooth. It fell out.
Genevieve, I sent you a nugget. I don't know if you got it, but maybe you could read
Oh,
it. People
did
liked
you
it when
send
you
it
read the
on WhatsApp?
nugget.
Mm.
Yeah, I sent it on
Oh
WhatsApp.
yeah.
Maybe you can be our guest nugget reader on Thursday.
Yeah.
I
Every
love
Thursday.
to be a nugget reader. I really appreciate Richard Rohr.
Yeah, Richard Rohr. Your
yeah,
sound
this
is coming in a little weird somehow. I don't know if
Oh, is it a little better now?
that's better. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
better.
Yeah, Richard
Okay.
Rohr it's Richard Rohr Week, which is
Yes,
a tongue
I've been
twister.
listening.
Oh, great.
Richard
okay.
Rohr.
Aw.
Yeah.
Richard
Yeah.
Rohr.
Just
I'm a
listening,
fan.
Costuma.
I'm listening. I'm
Just
listening. I
listening,
heard
yeah.
all about Harbin Hot Springs and all of it.
Oh yeah, what do you
A
think
little too
about
much.
that? A little too naked.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Richard
I
Rohr.
don't want to set him up. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah. I think this is a good one too.
Contemplation is an alternative consciousness that refuses to identify with or feed what are only passing shows. It is the absolute opposite of addiction, consumerism, or any egoic consciousness.
Egoic. Is that the proper pronunciation? We've been saying egoic. It's egoic. That
I think
makes
it's egoic.
Well, I
Yeah,
am
sounds-
from
sounds
England,
better.
so I don't know. That's how I heard it.
Egoic.
Yeah, they do say
Egoic.
things. They do say
We
things
say
like
things funny.
shoppy.
So Raghunath, what do you got to say about this? Should I read it?
Let me read that again.
Yeah, read it
Or
again.
you read that again, please, John. You have a better voice
Yeah,
than me.
Genevieve.
Contemplation. Contemplation is an alternative consciousness that refuses to identify with or feed what are only passing shows. It is the absolute opposite of addiction, consumerism, or any egoic consciousness.
Wow.
Contemplation.
Contemplation is alternative consciousness.
I mean, that's the thing that grabs me first, right? It's an alternative consciousness. In other words, we can choose to enter into this state of consciousness, right? It's our choice, right? It's almost like switching a channel on a television set or something like that, or on radio, right?
Well, it's not just that, but the
I know that it's more. Than
well, no,
that.
it's not that.
It's not
Let me
chicken,
tell you what
no.
it is. I didn't mean it like that.
It's not just that. What else is it?
It's actually when the consciousness is fully controlled by you.
Yeah.
Whereas what he mentioned was addiction, consumerism. Consumerism nowadays, it doesn't mean like, let's just go out and buy this or that. Consumerism nowadays is all happening on Amazon.com. It's just like when you go and I bought this, and then there's a list of other things that Amazon is highly recommending for me to be joyous. So people usually buy this, who buy this. Oh yeah, they do. And you start clicking on everything. And it's like an out of control feeding frenzy for the God-shaped hole in your heart. And so you're constantly trying to consume things. It happens that way with eating. I'm eating. I should be full at this point, but instead I'm even more hungry in the middle of the meal. Ever do that? No, you haven't. I have. Where you should have turned the bend and be like, now I'm getting full. But instead you're getting hungry. By the end of the meal, you're hungrier. That's where you go to your second secret meal. I do that. Anyway, these are like feeding frenzies for the soul, desperately trying to put something in that God-shaped hole. People do it with sex. People do it with alcohol. People do, right? We're a normal person or person who doesn't have that substance addiction. They can just have a glass of wine or something like that. But one is not enough, and 20 is too many. It's just like they can't stop. And it's like in that addictive mentality, it is like a rolling snowball. And it's out of control, and it's no longer the thinking process. It's just like, I'm going to use that feeding frenzy again because I really liked it. Yeah. So what it is it's your senses out of control, dragging you all over town. It's almost like getting carjacked. You're driving a car and some guy goes, move over, and he's got a gun and I'm taking you for a ride. He's driving out of control and you're sitting there in the passenger seat, almost like in total fear and helplessness. That's what it's like when the senses are out of control. So contemplation is just the opposite. It's taking full back control of the senses, the mind. It's actually a type of freedom, contemplation.
Would you like to share anything more, Genevieve?
I was just thinking about it in regard to scrolling on social media.
Same
Something
thing.
that I was doing a couple of hours ago because I couldn't sleep. I had to do a radio thing for the BBC time to time, and they've just made the time earlier, so now it's at 2 a.m.
That's pause
New York
for thought.
time. Pause for thought. Yeah. So
People don't all know that Genevieve. It's like this is like a huge thing. It's like it's kind of that prime slot on the radio, right? Like it's the morning
it
slot.
is. It's breakfast. Yeah, breakfast radio.
And
Yeah,
she's
it's
like
kind of cool.
broadcasting over the BBC to like all over England, and I guess.
Can you
beyond.
mention my name next time you do that? Just say, "Oh, Rock," and I was
Can
going
you
to
talk about wisdom and sages next time?
Yeah.
Drop us a
Hey, I
little.
should.
Oh,
I
if you do that,
should.
that would be awesome. We would get like all over England.
I should. I think I'm
Okay.
gonna.
I was
try
just
and
on
do
a
that.
spiritual podcast. Remember, say nothing. I was on a very spiritual podcast this morning. A very, very good spiritual podcast. Wisdom.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you heard? Do you talk to another person, or is it just you?
I'm talking live, but it's scripted, but I'm delivering it live, and then we chat a bit after the script.
You chat with
We're-
somebody. Okay, that's
It's the
what.
host.
Yeah,
The host.
I was just listening to a very spiritual podcast with these very spiritual stalwarts.
But we're
Raghunath and friend.
we're currently number 2 podcast in Hinduism in Great Britain.
Amazing.
That's pretty good.
Number
I'm
2 in
not
America
surprised.
as well.
I'm surprised, but not surprised.
Yeah,
Yes.
we always have Ram Dass. He's ahead of us. We can't get him.
I know that Ram Dass. I'm going to tackle him if I ever saw
You
him.
have to do an England tour. Maybe
love
we
to
should
do
do
an
it
England
together.
tour.
We should do it together.
You know, I'm thinking of maybe dropping in there in December on the way to India because it's like it's so expensive to fly to India now. We just like drop off in England. It actually is less expensive. Anyway, yeah, if you want to give us that product placement, Genevieve,
I will do. I will
pause
do.
for thought.
I'll try.
Yeah, you know, little scratch our back, we'll scratch yours.
But I
type
guess
of
pause.
stuff. We'll
guess-
we'll sell your tickets. We'll give away your tickets if you mention us.
But I guess pause for thought is kind of like this contemplation idea, right? You pause for some thought.
Yeah, it is. It's a little radio piece that's been around for over 20 years on one of the main. It's the probably highest listened breakfast radio, and I guess because of the Christian ethics of the BBC, of the founder of the BBC,
Mhm.
they are bound by their constitution to keep religious programming in, even though, you know, it sometimes feels awkward in a morning mainstream radio with just like popular music, and then suddenly you have a person of faith coming in and giving us a piece about something, and they encourage you to make it religious and include some scripture and like
I
that. But
see.
You're like
But
that. We
it's-
can do. We can do that.
yeah,
We can make it very religious.
yeah. So it's pretty cool that it exists.
Well, you do a great job with it. And the fact is that, you know, they bumped her up to that prime slot, you know, because she does so well, you know. It's like you were on some other slot before that, right? And then they kind of moved you into
Yeah, they start you out at the overnight, which is for all the truck drivers.
right.
Like broadcast at
Hey, we got truck
broadcast at
drivers
1
listening to this
a.m.
show. Don't
Yeah,
talk
vegan
bad about the
truckers.
truck driver. We got
Yeah.
vegan truck drivers listening to this show right now.
Yeah.
Was there more that you wanted
Anyway.
to share on this? You're saying you're up all night.
Well, that was why I couldn't sleep. So
Right.
then I found myself scrolling because I couldn't sleep. And you
That's
know,
good.
there's that moment where you've been scrolling for a while and then you're like, okay, just 5 more minutes, and then it's more, and then suddenly it's like, oh, this is it's that recognition that this is so mindless.
Mm.
And
yeah, you hit that point
yeah.
hopefully at some point before you're too
yeah,
deep.
yeah, and it's you're exactly right. It's the opposite of contemplation. And I was thinking, because I knew I had to also get up in time to come and do this. So I was thinking, like, when can I fall asleep? Then I can sleep a bit and then do this. But it was the early hour of the morning where you feel like that contemplation comes easier. And I was just thinking, well, I could have been directing my consciousness in this time rather than just sort of just let me just fall asleep or something. And
Sure.
Right.
it's such an active choice that has to be made. And I've just been reading a book about John Muir. You know, the environmentalist.
Muir. Yeah.
Have you
John
done
Muir is-
have you done a nugget week with
No.
him?
You know, we should do a John Muir Nugget Week.
Okay,
You
we'll look into
should,
that.
you
I'll
should.
look
Not
into
Mike
this-
Muir from Suicidal Tendencies. John Muir. A different Muir.
Yeah,
That
he's-
one
he's-
went
And
right
all
over
I wanted
Johnny's
was a
head.
Pepsi, and you wouldn't give it to me. Thank you.
Johnny doesn't know that because he was not dented
don't,
like
I
you and I. He knows John Muir. Okay.
But he's really great. But he was a profound contemplator of nature, and you know, he was. I mean, you probably know better than me, but he was one of the founding reasons that the national parks in America got
Right.
set up. But his writings on his experiences with contemplating nature, he has profound faith experiences that he believes he wouldn't have had otherwise if he hadn't gone into the space of contemplation, because he was raised very religious within Calvinism, but his whole conception of God and the universe changes as he goes into these sort of contemplative, meditative periods out in nature, almost like as desert fathers did. So anyway, that I was thinking, well, I wish I could be more like that. Yeah.
Well,
You can be, and we can help you.
Yes, please help me.
I wonder if there's different levels of scrolling. Like, I know there's probably some degraded scrolling you could do. But scrolling. Well, no, I'm just saying, I know in my scrolling, which also, this should be like the 5th regulative principle. No intoxication, no illicit sex, no scrolling, but it seems like there are degrees of scrolling, like, animals attacking other animals. Like, that's informative. It's important to know that. I don't think that's like so degraded. There's degraded ones, like New York street fights. I follow that too. I shouldn't do that. I know that's wrong. But then there's other things like clog dancing. I follow various dancing, and I find it very interesting. Yeah,
I do too. Yeah,
you follow dancing.
You follow
clog dancing.
I don't follow clog dancing,
okay,
but I follow a lot
dancing.
of dancers. I'm gonna check that out. I follow a lot of art and artists and musicians. And
so your scrolling is sort of sattvic scrolling.
Well, I gotta try do something to keep myself. Yeah, I mean, it's what inspire. I think whatever, if you feel that something inspires you, I think that's probably a healthy thing to follow if you're going to be following something. But
yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Johnny, thank you. You were always enlightening.
I wanted to share a little something about this nugget.
Oh, we got this, Kostuma. Me and Johnny are taking over today.
No, why don't we save it for later? It'll probably wind back into the show.
A little etymology here. Who's this? Ahsoka Krishna is writing in. I feel obliged to read it. This is from the 1590s. What contemplate means: reflect upon, ponder, study, view mentally, meditate. That's what contemplation means. Kostuma, you allowed people to unmute. That's what's going on.
I didn't allow anything. I just did it. If you could tell me how to fix it, I'd fix it. But I don't
know how to do it.
Okay.
We need
Mara
back. Okay.
Genevieve, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all the winners out there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
When you're doing those shows, when you talk between songs, you might want to just mention something about wisdom of the sages. No pressure, but
definitely will.
We'd appreciate it.
I'm going to do my best. I'll come back to you and victoriously tell you that I managed to get it in there.
Maybe we got to bring you in after the New York show. Hear how it went.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, we
grill her to see if she did it. And is that what you mean?
Not grill her. She's going to do it. I'm just saying, hear her thoughts on it. That's all.
Yeah, let's do it. That would be cool.
Hey, we should have some Wisdom of the Sages like merch or postcards or something at the show. Yeah.
Wear a shirt. If you really love us, you'll wear
We have a real problem with merch. It's like us with merch is the whole mess. But maybe we could try it. We'll talk about that.
Great.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea.
Okay.
All right, Johnny, we love you. Thank you for
joining us. Love you all too.
This morning.
Thank you so much. And quick shout out to my tour manager, Naina, who's here.
Oh, that's Naina's your tour manager?
She is
your tour manager. We thought she was escaping the Puerto Rican.
She does both. She does both.
She does both. She tour manages and escapes hurricanes.
Yes. Oh, okay. She's a Wonder Woman.
I think she's an expert manager.
That is
great. Yeah, she's doing an amazing job.
And actually, I was just thinking we should, in our prayers, we should keep in mind some of our people are right in the eye of this storm. Like I think Armar the Grateful.
Oh, that's right. And Fantasy Island is there. Yeah. They had to evacuate Fantasy Island.
Yeah. So they don't know if they're gonna. I think they're not. They got out of there.
No, Aramar texted me yesterday.
Yeah, and so not sure what it's going to look like when they come back. So,
oh God, that's scary.
Yeah, so our prayers for them. Okay, Ragnar, not a good time to start your thing because you'll probably have scrolling.
It's not good.
No, he's scrolling. He's scrolling on the show. Come back.
I sometimes forget we're on a show.
Yeah.
Okay. Genevieve, thank you so much.
Thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate it. I'm gonna mute myself so I don't distract you anymore.
Okay, thank you, John.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Genevieve. All right, I just got this they got this at 9:30 p.m. last night from Aramar. He said, our island is where Ian made landfall, and it was completely in the eye of the hurricane at one point. We have no idea if our rentals are still standing, but there is widespread destruction. Oh my God. But I am safe at my kids, and Rama is safe at her work at the hospital.
Okay, good.
Okay, so our prayers are out to everybody. Forgot all
You ready? We're getting late into the show today, Raghunath.
Yes. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam madirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama bhakti bhavati naistiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmidatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Did Mara tell you where?
He did. Let me find that message from Mara. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam 4:25-44. We are on 44. We did 43 yesterday.
Okay.
Now
44. The king is freely associating with the queen for the purpose of enjoyment, right? In other words, and of course, as we've been saying, this is all allegory. So the king is the self, the queen is that reasoning faculty of the mind, which ideally the two of them should be working together to kind of figure out what's the purpose of life, what are we here for, what's it all about.
Kastubi, you've done it again. You've tied in the nugget with the verse.
Have I?
Very smoothly.
I didn't even realize that, Raghunath.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like we were just saying.
Okay, they should be contemplating, right? Yeah.
They should be contemplating, but instead he's like, I'm all in, and he's now working for the mind.
Yeah.
This is when trouble starts.
He's going to begin
Instead
to
of the mind
follow
working
the mind.
for me.
Yeah. All it's wherever it wants to go.
The mind should be our employee.
Oh, okay.
We shouldn't be working for the mind. You know
mind
what?
Should be our employee. Someone put that on the board there, so we have.
Yeah. Where's Kylie Brown? Kelly Skinner. You're gonna take notes today. You're keeping all the hashtags today. Okay. You're in charge of this. Okay. The mind should be working. The mind's our employee. We shouldn't be working for the mind. Write that one down, Kelly.
You know what I was gonna say about the nugget, Raghunath? Just inspired by the two of you and Genevieve. Thinking about it like that, you were mentioning that we lose control of the mind and it starts to control us, right? And that's scrolling.
Carjacking.
We got
carjacking. You like that analogy?
Sure. And I was thinking, we've talked about this in other contexts before, but like imagine if you had a meter, right?
A meter?
A meter, yeah. That you could tell how much of the time of the day you're engaging your mind in contemplation compared to how much time of the day your mind has just been taken away, right? Carjacked, stolen from you.
I have a meter.
Do you? What's it called?
Well, you know what happened?
Actually, sometimes the phone tells you like how much time you've been on the phone.
Well, I had one more hour before we were landing yesterday or the other day from coming back from California. I had 1 hour and it was early in the morning, like super early in the morning. I was like, and I slept really good. I was wide awake and I was like, I'm going to do my puja now in my mind. So I figured, puja takes about 20 minutes in my mind. I do it really nicely. I could not concentrate. And I just realized like, this is such a human week. That's why doing the manasa puja or the manasa anything, stuff in your mind is so powerful because you realize chanting japa. It shows you how weak the mind can be. And so it's a very good practice, but I failed.
But that's your way of you, one way of you monitoring, you're saying.
Monitoring my mind. How long is this going to take me? It shouldn't take me that long. And I just could not do it until I literally the plane wheels hit the ground. I got what, wrap this up.
Right. But imagine, you know, it would be helpful if we could actually know, you know, like
They're going to
we-
make that
I think
mind app.
it may have been like last week or something, or maybe the week before, I forget, where we were talking about just how much time we have in this life, how it shouldn't be wasted, because, you know, so much of it gets wasted in sleep, right? And then so much of it gets, you know, burned up, you know, just taking care of bodily necessities. And when you narrow it all down, there's only what you got 25 years or something like that to figure everything out, to learn all your lessons, to, you know, to come to that state of consciousness that you want to be at. It's not a lot of time. So how much of that time is stolen from us, is carjacked from us, you know, through the externals, you know, just dragging it away.
I feel like I'm on like you know, I'm in my 50s, you know, so this is sort of like the final.
It's getting towards
It's it. This
playing
is
the
like,
game.
I can't fool people any longer. It's pretty soon. It's just going to be like, this is it. You're the old guy now. You know, I never was the old guy, but now it's like I'm the old guy. It's getting worse.
Yeah, let's
as the days go by.
Yeah. So let's hit that. Actually, you know, this is interesting. Read text 44, and it's actually, it discusses different states of mind. This will be interesting.
Okay. Many professional singers used to sing about the glories of King Purandjana and his glorious activities. When it was too hot in the summer, he used to enter a reservoir of water. He would surround himself with many women and enjoy their company.
Okay.
What does that mean?
I'm going to tell you what it means. What does that mean?
Enjoy their company.
It's said that what the acharyas, right, what the great commentators on Bhagavatam tell us about this verse.
Yeah.
It says that the previous verse it's talking about different states of mind. That, you know, there are these different states of mind that are talking about. Are you familiar with this, Raghunath? They talk about these. There's they're called Jagrat, which is the waking state. Svapna is the dreaming state. Sushupti, which is the like the dreamless deep sleep state. You know, and then there's Turiya, which is like spiritual consciousness. You've heard
Turiya is like spiritual dreams. Isn't that cool? Is it interesting that the yogis knew about all these stuff that like scientists
this
talk
is my
about?
point. This is contemplative, right? Like to actually analyze where, because if you do this, then you begin to realize, whoa, hold it. Actually, you know, like I'm only in the waking state. Like my mind, it's something that I don't even control. Like my mind gets kind of stolen from me, where I lose my free will of how to control my mind when I go into the dream state. It just goes without me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the deep dream state where I don't have any ability to kind of like focus consciousness on anything. So we're going through these different states. Now it says that the previous state, or rather the previous verse that we read, was describing the waking state, where it said that the king and the queen, they were supporting each other's, and they entered into that city, you know, the body, and they enjoyed it for 100 years. This text here, which is talking about, I mean, it's, you know, he's the king, and he's going into a reservoir of water, and he's surrounded himself with many beautiful women, and he's enjoying them. That's our dream state, right? This is our idea of enjoyment. And so Prabhupada writes here, he says, a living being has different activities at different stages of life. One stage is called Jagrata, or the life of awakening. And another is called Svapna, or the life of dream. Another stage is called Sushupti, or life in an unconscious state. That's the deep sleep. And still another stage occurs after death. In the previous verse, the life of awakening was described. That is, the man and the woman were married and enjoyed life for 100 years. Right? Like I'm enjoying with my body through my mind. In a conscious, you know, state of awareness. He says, so, and they enjoy for one. In this verse, life in the dream state is described. For the activities Purandjana accomplished during the day were also reflected at night in the dream state. Purandjana used to live with his wife for sense enjoyment, and at night, this very sense enjoyment was appreciated in different ways. So in other words, it's saying that in the Jagrata state, in the awakening state, we have like the ability to make choices, right?
Right.
what happens in the dream state is it draws from that wakening state. It draws images from that wakening state. And then you sit there without any ability to choose. And you kind of watch this film go on. You kind of like experience this film going on without any ability to make any choice.
Dreams are so crazy, aren't they?
They're very crazy.
They're so crazy. They're so real. They're so real.
Yeah. And then there's so in the waking state, I pulled up a little something on this from Shivananda Swami.
Okay.
I know you were a fan of his.
I was a big fan.
I know you. Yeah, that great book on brahmacharya that we used to read back in the day. Right?
I got a lot of Shivananda Swami books, but yeah, that was a hit. The Brahmachari Handbook.
So yeah, his philosophy is a little different than ours, but on a lot of these things he writes quite well, I think, you know. So he's talking about, he says, a careful study of the three states, Jagrat, Svapna, and Sushupti, waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, is of immense practical use for a clear understanding of Vedanta, right? Because it helps us understand that I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, how they're operating on their own without even my will being involved, right? He says the difference between the waking and the dreaming states consists in this, that there's a waking condition, that in the waking condition, the mind depends on the outward impressions, while in the dreaming state, it creates its own impressions and enjoys them. It uses, of course, the materials of the waking hours, right? So in other words, there's some free will. We can kind of determine it when we're in the waking state, and then the mind is kind of like working on its own during the sleeping state. In the Jagrat, or the awakening state, the objects exist independent of the mind. So every day you see the same objects as soon as you wake up from sleep. But in dreams, the objects of dream exist only so long as there is mind, so long as the dream lasts, because the dream creatures are manufactured out of the mind only.
The dream creatures.
Dream creatures.
Watch out for the dream creatures.
We're dream creatures. We're dream creatures. That's a good name for a band. That would be
dream creatures. Yeah.
So long as the dream left, because the dream creatures are manufactured out of the mind only. In dream, mind itself creates the dream creatures out of the material supplied by waking experience, with some modifications. When mind drops down to waking state, all dream objects vanish. Right? Interesting stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you know, I think even here it goes back to like our we were saying, like, imagine if you could block off monitor all the time that you have. We were talking like with when your mind gets stolen, just to things like scrolling or something like that. But here this is kind of doing that too. This analysis of the yogis saying, you know, they say that you have your waking state where you have some free will. Then in the dream state, you have no free will. In the deep dream state, it's almost just like you're recharging, you know. There's almost no consciousness. They say the only evidence, you know what the only evidence of that consciousness is when you're in the deep dream state? Raghunath, you're muted or something. You're muted.
Yeah, you don't realize this, but you have complete control over Zoom. You're like the Zoom monarch.
Okay. Well, but why did you unmute? Or why did you mute in the first? I
muted myself to yell at my kid to wake up, who's sleeping on the couch.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then I couldn't get back in.
All right. That's what
I was
you
like,
were
I
pointing
get
at
it.
me.
He's taking control of this thing.
Take control. It's exactly what you told me to do like a few minutes ago, and someone helped me do it, and I did.
Take absolute control.
Actually. Yeah. Okay. So did you want to share something?
I was too busy trying to bang on the.
I see.
Bang on the window.
Okay. So my point is this: that even if we had 100-year life, that a lot of it is lost in the dream state, and a lot of it is lost in the deep dream state where you really have no control. Oh, I was asking you, what's the evidence that our consciousness is still operative in the deep dream state?
In the deep dream state,
yeah,
we're alive. How about that?
I suppose you could say that, but that there's still some level of awareness that's there.
Yeah, I'm the person that said I was so zonked out last night.
Exactly.
I don't even remember.
That's right. So someone
there's still an observer there.
Yeah. That's right. Like, in other words, it's kind of like a very minimal, but we felt like, oh, I slept well, you know, like that.
Yeah.
So we have some kind of awareness of it. Yeah. So in any case, you know, our time is hijacked. You know, our time is hijacked by dream state. Our time is hijacked by the deep dream state. Our time is hijacked by the bodily necessities kind of time. You know, our time is hijacked by so many things. To their 100 years gets narrowed down to a really much smaller amount of time. Then how much of that time do we allow to get hijacked? How much of that time do I get
where I'm actually healthy, I'm conscious, and then I've got all these other thieves coming in. The scrolling thief.
Well, you know, when we had Yogi
Watch
Charu,
out for the scrolling thief. Write that one down.
Okay, we had Yogi Charu. We had Yogi Charu on the show back in January, I think it was, maybe February. And he kind of like laid out this kind of like quadrant that you could put, you know, like of how much of your kind of like conscious time where your mind goes.
The Netflix thief.
Yeah, well, not even like that, even like more kind of fundamentally. Like, in other words, there's certain thought that's like fantasy. It's thought like of things that will never happen, that you never will achieve, you know. It's
like
just
my turbo scenario fantasies that are just like always, you know, always playing in my mind.
I mean, think about it. Can you go a day? Can you go a 24-hour period without entering to some kind of fantasy in your mind?
Well, what to speak of that fantasy is sort of like a fantasy of revenge, a fantasy of spite, a fantasy of.
Well, yeah, suppose you could take it to darker places, sure, but
I'm just saying that
not,
because
right?
it's not just like a fantasy of like, oh, and she's going to fall in love with me, and then we're going to do this, or a fantasy of a future vacation. We're planning this Hawaii trip. I'm not just saying that. A lot of times they don't go to those. They go to things like spite, revenge. How could he do this to me? How dare she? If I was to do it
that's
again,
not exactly
fantasy.
Like that's
well,
not exactly
what it is.
Fantasy.
It is. It's because you're replaying things in your mind of like, you know, turbo scenarios of revenge, of doing it differently.
Okay, well then that's fantasy. If you
that's fantasy.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah. So how much of our time is wasted in that? How much of our time is wasted in resentment? How much, if we could have a monitor on our mind about just like how much of it is actually contemplative, right? How much of it is where we consciously direct it exactly where we want it to go, knowing that it's for our higher benefit, knowing that it's going to free us. How much
this is good. This is good. You know why?
Why?
Because sometimes people like to be like, you know, I really like spiritual life. I really like spiritual things. I really like Krishna consciousness. I don't like Japa. Some people say that. I don't like Japa.
I've heard that before. Yeah.
Right? So here's the deal. That is a time, and think of it like this. It's a time where I explicitly will meditate on the sound of Krishna's name. And they say it's like associating or being with Krishna. And it's a time where you can really enter this experiment of how connected my mind can be with sacred sound. Because, and you can actually notice, oh, I was chanting. All I have to do is chant one round. Look where my mind went in this 15-minute, 15-minute section of my brain. Look where my mind went. Okay, now I'm going to try it again. Here's my second round. Can my mind stay connected to the sound? It's a really great time where you have sound that you should be focused on, and then you should have the minutia of the mind just floating around. Where's my attention going to go?
You know, it's almost like it's a battle to reclaim our mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to be taken again by that. It's a battle to you can write a song like that, the battle to reclaim. This life is a battle to reclaim the mind. Yeah, which has been just running on autopilot, right? Like out of control. It's sort of like if sometimes if you keep sometimes people come up to the farm with a dog, and the dog has never left the apartment of their house in New York City, like Chester. Like Chester Lev's dog. He's a country dog.
He's a country dog, but sometimes I'll bring a dog here, and the dog just take off. And you're like, oh my god, where'd the dog go? I don't know. He'll come back probably, but they just like take off because they've never had that much freedom. So the mind is like this; it's just trying to take off, and it is taking off, and it really runs with whoever it's associating with, and it goes into deeper parts in the woods and the forest and into dangerous territories.
Right.
Huh?
Yeah. Well, that's where Richard Rohr goes. There's your addiction and your consumerism and so on. Right. Remember the nugget, Raghunath? Why you look so confused?
My kids are like getting up. They're confusing me.
All right. I was saying, you're saying it goes to dangerous places. So I'm saying, yeah, it goes to, it does go
Yeah.
to places like addiction and consumerism. You know, let's go, let's just wind up back on the nugget. Let's wrap it up, right? I'm going to read it again. He says, contemplation is an alternative consciousness, right? We can choose to flip that switch. We do have that power. We need to reclaim. It's not, sometimes it's not easy. It's a battle, but we're going to say, I'm going to turn the channel, right? I'm going to turn the channel. That's my choice. And that refuses to identify with or feed what are only passing shows. Okay, so in other words, this is the standard that the yogi is going to use to where I'm going to direct my awareness, right? I'm not going to direct it in, I'm not going to just have it absorbed by passing shows, by the temporary, right? Absorbed in the body, absorbed in the temporary circumstances that are existing. I'm going to be able to consciously bring my awareness to that which is eternal and keep it absorbed there. And if I can do that, that's powerfully transformative. And if I lose all ability to do that, I'm going to become a victim to consumerism. You know, I may become addicted to, I may become a victim to addiction. I just get lost. I lose all my freedom.
All right, so so this is going to be how I'm going to do it today. When I chant my japa today, I'm really going to try to hold that mind. This is being an experiment for people today.
Hold it.
But chanting it, really hold the mind. See, can I make it through one round really locked into the sound of the name? Or if there's some dead time, like where you're driving somewhere and you're not listening, do a practice. Maybe if you're in a passenger seat, not if you're driving, but do a practice of, can I see Krishna right now? Can I hold my mind? What does Krishna look like? What is he wearing? Does he have a turban on? Does he have a peacock feather? Does he have two peacock feathers?
Or,
you know,
or more, even
smiling?
more simply, just keep it on the sound, right?
Or keep it on the sound. Well, I was having another approach. I was saying, keep
it on the sound.
Yes, you can keep it on the sound. I just said that one first, but if you want to say it for the second one too, you can do it like that.
Oh, okay. Well,
I would say one is sound, the other one is mentally seeing Krishna, like with your eyes closed. You know, with your eyes closed. I mean, don't try this while you're driving. But you know, what is Krishna wearing? What's he, you know, what does he look like? You know, has he got a flower garland on? What kind of flowers are they? This is great ways to play with the mind. Otherwise, the mind is just drifting around. All right, it's time, my
What's
brother.
the verse? Yuto chalati manastan chalamastiram.
From wherever and whenever the mind wanders to its unsteady and flickering nature, one must quickly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self.
Boom. Nice, brother.
Yeah. Like that. Practicing my slokas.
Sixth chapter.
It's a good chapter for slokas. Okay,
All
Tarun,
right.
you hear that?
you
We're
got?
doing 6th chapter next. He's like, no, we're not. He always says it's too hard. These slokas are too hard. I want an easier one. Then he does it. Then he finishes the sloka and he's like, that. Got that.
All right.
What did we just quote? What was that? 626?
6th chapter, I forget. 620 something.
Something from the 6th chapter. If you know it, put it on the board. Okay, what are our takeaways? Can you unmute Kelly Skinner?
Oh yeah, let's find Kelly Skinner. Where is she? Bright light. There she is. Unmute.
Look at Kelly.
Haribol, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
I
bright
was
light.
gonna write back to you. Thank you so much for your nice message you sent me the other day.
You're welcome, Prabhu. Thank you.
It means a lot. It means a lot.
Okay, we have
Takeaways.
a lot of takeaways. So contemplation is a type of freedom, a way to control your senses versus being controlled.
Okay, that's a long one.
That's a long takeaway. You better,
but I actually like
this
long
gig,
ones.
you better work for it, Kelly
I actually
Skinner.
like the long. To me, it's more important than like the message comes across. So thank you.
Okay. Contemplation reveals the separation of the self and the mind.
Okay.
Our mind is
Kelly Skinner
like,
and her long takeaways.
no, it wasn't. Okay. Our mind is like an unleashed city dog in the country woods.
A good one.
Yeah.
We're unleashed city dog
We're country
from the
woods.
city.
We're good.
Pause for thought.
Oh, pause for thought.
Ooh,
Oh,
that
now
is
you
a
see. There you go.
That is a t-shirt, my
There
friend.
you go.
Mhm.
Pause. We're pause for thought. It's an
The
an
mind,
emo band from Portland.
We're pause for thought.
the mind should be our employee.
I like that
Johnny.
one.
Mm.
Yeah.
The externals hijack the mind. Bhakti monitors your mind.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I think
Hijack.
Kelly's doing a good job today. What else you got?
Thanks, Prabhu. Strive for sattvic scrolling.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I mean, there are
better
Krishna
than
conscious.
than Rajasic or Tamasic scrolling.
You know what I have also? I scrolled that. But do you ever scroll where they play that? What's it called? Shama Anubaso Brindavaname. Do you follow those scrolls? Where it's just like that same song is played and everybody's dancing, and it's just like a different version of that same song with a bunch of people dancing. And I don't know. I must be in some algorithm where I get all these ones playing that same song.
Yes.
It's a Bridge Bossy song. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't. I mean, I know in general kind of like what you're talking
All
about.
right.
But
Anyway.
I've been fortunate to avoid that particular.
No, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a transcendental one, I'm saying.
All right. Oh, okay.
Okay, 2 more.
Okay, Kelly.
Japa locks you into the sacred sound.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go and
Watch out for the dream creatures.
oh, there you go. Good one. Good
Very
one.
good. Watch out for the dream creatures. Thank you. Thank you,
Kelly.
Kelly Skinner.
Mhm.
Dream creatures,
Bright
that's
Light, and thanks
really
for
good
John
name
V.
for a band.
Harrison and the ticket giveaway.
Congratulations,
Congratulations,
Kelly
if you won
Skinner.
the
You
ticket
got
giveaway.
to text me the nuggets, please. The takeaways. Thank you.
All right, and thank John V. Harrison. Congratulations on your little tour. Remember to mention us, John V, on the BBC today.
We want that plug.
We haven't forgotten. And thanks for already joining us on Zoom. If you want to join us on Zoom in the future, you can do it. You go to wisdomofthesages@gmail.com and email Mara, and she'll get back to you the secret codes.
You know what?
Thanks for everybody.
I was gonna say, I think if Genevieve did actually do that, that we would surpass Ram Dass in England and become the #1 Hindu podcast. We could do it.
I'm gonna get
least
that
for-
Ram Dass.
At least for 1 week.
Ram Dass. So funny. I saw Ram Dass. You want to hear something crazy? You want to hear a Krishna miracle?
Okay.
When my son Rocco was born, I took all the kids to Hawaii, to Maui. And
Did
just
Ram Dass
randomly
live
found
there,
an Airbnb. That was 15 years ago.
Okay.
Took my mother-in-law, and we all went to Maui, and a half a mile up the road, Ram Dass, Sham Das, and Karnamrita were performing
Oh yeah.
the next day. How crazy is that? You can't make that up. You couldn't have planned that. That was a Krishna miracle, my friends. Come on. All 365 days of the year on the island of Maui.
Yeah, but
on
they
the
probably
same
do it many nights of the year.
No, they
you know?
don't. They don't.
Come
They
on.
don't do it many nights a year. It's like once a year they did something. That was
okay.
very Krishna miracle-y. And anyway.
It's a Krishna coincidence.
It's not a Krishna coincidence. That's a miracle, man.
All right.
Why don't you believe it? I believe in miracles.
If you promise never to sing that song again, I will say that it was a miracle.
Sex angels, stupid.
Just, all right, Bo.
My little boy is sitting on my lap. He's saying, "You can't laugh at your own jokes." Yes, I can. If I'm funny, I'm laughing.
All right.
Uh-oh.